For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now in the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah. I'm joined by the current Bulletcast podcast champion, Brandon Tanguma. We're kicking it OG Bulletcast style, just the two of us. BT, what's going on today, man?
What's up, Phillip? Just the two of us today here on this Thursday. We're doing it in the afternoon, something we haven't done in, well, I guess we've done it recently, but we should do this more often.
Yes, this was the regular thing, recorded Thursday at noon, and it'd be released after that on the same day. Those were good times. You know, we had to make some adjustments. Normally the show would have been out already, but here we are. Here we are. Let's get into it. Outside the ring, Tammy Sitch has been sentenced to 17 years in prison for a manslaughter and DUI and all that other stuff. Can you read the official statement?
So I couldn't find like the official statement, but I found some news articles that touch on it. But so this happened last year. She has been serving, I think, almost a year. So if we go in terms of like time served, she'll serve for another 16 years. But this, as you guys should remember, stems back from her getting another DUI after having her license revoked and all that other stuff. She ended up killing a 75-year-old man while her blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit. And she could have faced up to 25 years, but she gets 16 with time served right now. So Tammy Sitch, not going to see her for a very, very long time. And this should not have happened. As I talked about, she's had numerous DUIs in the past. Currently, she's 50 years old, so she will be locked up till she is 66.
That's crazy, man. What, I mean, to go from where she was, you know, the most popular woman in the industry to this is wild, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a sad story overall. I mean, she had everything. She was, gorgeous. She was smart. She had so much charisma, and then whether you call it her personality, the wrestling business, a combination of the two, it just all kind of went downhill, and it should have never gotten to this point. For whatever reason, the American justice system doesn't take DUI seriously enough. And so she was able to just continuously roam the streets and drive, even though she did have a license, but that's not going to stop people like her. And ultimately, she took someone's life because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at her bio here. I mean, it's yeah. I forgot she was an adult entertainer for a period of time. Forgot that's one of her career choices that she made. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Don't know where it went wrong. Maybe. I mean, she has done so many shoot interviews. Maybe it's out there somewhere. We just haven't heard it. But you do the crime, you got to pay the time. Do the crime, got to do the time. Yeah. Unfortunate. Moving on from that, Camille is going to be a free agent starting at the beginning of the year. Camille, she's the longest reigning NWA Women's Champion of all time. I think had 700 something days. So yeah, it'd be nice to see where she lands. I mean, with people like Jade Cargill making the move over to WWE, that could be something we could see from her. I mean, just the physical presence of like a Camille, a Jade Cargill, a Rhea Ripley, or Raquel Rodriguez, a Charlotte. That's appealing to me. I like that.
Yeah, I think she can go in numerous different directions. As you said, WWE kind of has that archetype for kind of like the stronger woman body type. Tony Khan, we've seen in the past of some of his signings. He does like the blondes. Maybe she goes to AEW, Impact TNA. They have a pretty strong women's division. So I think whether it's whatever the best offer is or whatever she feels is the best fit for her, I think she can do whatever she wants.
Yes. Luna Melo Guevara was born on November 28th, 2023, 8.4 pounds, 24 hours of labor. Congratulations to Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara. They've welcomed their baby girl. And I believe congratulations are also in order for Alexa Bliss. She had her baby girl, what, I think on the 27th. So babies are just being born. Congratulations to everybody.
A shout out. I mean, crazy that all these people get pregnant around the same time. That have the babies around the same time. Carmella had her baby a couple weeks ago. Now, Ty Mello and Alexa Bliss. Also, shout out Sammy Guevara. I guess he finally got cleared from his concussion. Maybe he might take a couple weeks off for paternity leave, but things are looking great for the Sammy Ty household right now.
Yes, congratulations to everyone that is having children and just being all merry with it and all that other stuff. Just some more depressing news. Serena Deeb, she put out a video, it was yesterday or earlier today, stating why she's been gone, why she hasn't been wrestling. We've been kind of questioning that. She's been suffering from seizures. She's had 3 seizures in the past year, she said. But the light at the end of the tunnel is she's cleared to come back to the ring. I'm a fan of Serena Deeb. I love her work. I enjoyed her as the NWA Women's Champion. I thought she should have been the AW Women's Champion, and hopefully now that could kind of be rectified. I mean, her being the professor, just like smarter than everybody in the ring. I love that character. Obviously, with this news coming out, she should be a monster baby face, and this is an incredible story. So I'd love to see it play out.
Yeah, sad news from her. Similar to you, I really enjoyed what she was doing in AEW, and it was kind of weird why she wasn't, working there. And there was a lot of rumors and innuendos, but as someone who knows someone with who's dealt with seizures in the past, they're definitely no joke because you can't really predict them. They kind of just happen, or whatever. And when they do, I mean, they can range from minor to like really serious. So seizures are nothing to mess with.
Yes, I mean my mother suffers from them, so I know they can be very very tragic. Um, just announced by WWE, Randy Orton is going to be on SmackDown this Friday, so that's interesting. Daddy's back. He's really back. Not only that, the Tribal Chief, his next dates have been announced. Looks like we are going to get Roman Reigns one more time before the year is up. It was 2 weeks. The 15th of December, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Then the 5th of January, Vancouver, British Columbia. And then the 19th, Atlanta, Georgia. So, hyping up whatever he's going to be possibly doing at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, looks like we should be getting the Tribal Chief on one of the big four. I know he wasn't advertised and he wasn't on the poster, so people were thinking, he just wasn't going to work it. We weren't going to see him again until whenever. But it's nice to know we're going to get some more Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I would expect for him to be at the Royal Rumble. I mean, maybe it's not even like in a match, possibly. Like maybe he's, at ringside or doing something, but I would just suspect him having a match at WrestleMania or at a Royal Rumble. So, yeah, and kudos to them. I think you definitely can get something from advertising Roman Reigns, like saying in advance he's going to be here, here, and here. People who may not have bought the shows maybe because they didn't know if Roman was going to be there, now they'll probably move some extra tickets because of that.
That is possible. That is interesting. I'm looking at the other dates, just for different people. WWE, they're really going on the tour. They're hitting all the markets. Looks like they're going to be in Inglewood, where WrestleMania was this year, on the 30th, which is also the King of the Death match. That'll be interesting to run on that same day. Just looking at that. What else do we have? AEW Battle of the Belts returns on the 13th of January. This will be what, the 6th installment of this, or
To be honest, I've kind of lost track. I watched like the first few, and then mainly because like on the DVR it doesn't record because you have to like individually record Battle of the Belts instead of it like being connected to a Rampage or Collision or whatever. But I mean, it's just kind of an extension of a Rampage or a Collision. There's nothing too crazy about it. I don't think AEW's done a great job at promoting them. It's just like, oh yeah, the our one of our 20 champions we have are going to have a pretty easy defense. You know they're going to retain, but
yeah,
tune in,
we
please.
gotta titles need to change there. It's fine. It's fine. Have the trios titles change hands. Have that was it the international title? Have it change hands.
Yesterday I was watching AEW and I was because they were talking. It was the Julia Hart match, and they were talking about the House of Black being trios champion. I was like, who in the hell are the trios champions right now? I could just not think of it for the life of me. And then
The Acclaimed, right?
yeah, then it finally came to me, the Acclaimed. I was like, that just shows to you how much I care about, how much they care about the trios titles right now.
Yeah, it's it's been a thing. It's been a thing. Mercedes Monet has posted a video. She is back training in the ring. You know, she suffered a broken ankle. Hey, I've been there, as we know. I'm glad she's doing better. Saw she was wearing the ankle brace, lacing it up. I need to get one of those. I had one, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't have a repeat, man.
Hey, exciting. Nothing too crazy from her, just kind of doing the standard, rolls and running the ropes and stuff. But she's been gone for quite a while. So I think that just shows the severity of the ankle injury. And people are going to speculate that that it might lead to a Royal Rumble return or whatever the hell she does. But it is exciting to see that she's on the track to come back.
Yes. She was on to something, man. I mean, she got hurt at that New Japan show, and it worked out for Willow Nightingale to win the Strong Woman's title. But yeah, hopefully Mercedes Monet, wherever she lands, she comes back a house of fire, and she's ready to go, ready to rock and roll. All right, we're gonna go outside of the ring. Let's see, or not outside of the ring. Fan mail. I'm sorry. Let's see. Here we go. Who 420.
Who?
Hell is truly frozen over. Punk is back in WWE. I know, never say never, but mates, I thought he was going to be the one guy that never came back. I think he's a lot of us thought that, especially with the AEW of it all when he was there, and the way he was bashing them, which we'll talk about his promo on Raw. But yeah, he's the last guy to come back. I mean, Warrior, Brett, Steiner, Jeff Jarrett, Bruno, they all casted off WWE. They're not going back there, blah, blah, blah. But as we've seen, one by one, they've all come back.
What are you talking about? Ryback is the last big name that needs to come back home to WWE.
Like I said, one by one, they've all come back.
But yeah, I mean, I think the circumstances surrounding Punk probably helped that. Like, if everything was hunky-dory in the world with AEW, I don't know if Punk would go back to WWE.
I don't know, man. Let's not forget. He was at Raw earlier this year looking for Triple H to make amends. Let's not forget that. Maybe that's where this started.
Well, that was also after the All Out brawl, so then maybe at that time he didn't know what his future held. Right?
That's a possibility, sure.
But I mean, I'm not going to say he would have never come back because, maybe they would have put out the olive branch of him being in the WWE Hall of Fame or something. But I would say the majority of the reason him coming back is because of what happened in AEW. And he realizes that this is his last chance. And whether it's ego, whether it's creative, whatever is driving him, I think he understands that if he needs to do this run in WWE to kind of cement himself and kind of get that bad taste out of his mouth from AEW.
Yes. Robert Walker. I know everyone is saying how long will it last for Punk's return to WWE, but I hope it's pleasant for both parties and he can have a nice end to his career. Hey, see, that's positive.
And also, it's a new WWE. The WWE he left was Vince McMahon driven, Vince McMahon owned. Now he's coming into the TKO venture with Triple H. With, he did have his issue with Triple H because, that stemmed from like the WrestleMania match that they were going to have him have. But, Triple H, he's shown with the Bruno, Ultimate Warrior, and other stuff like that. Like he even said he's a forgiving, or not himself, but I think there's sources that say like he's a forgiving person. And so I think people have evolved. Triple H has gone through his health issues. Punk has obviously gone through some stuff recently. So I think just the situation has changed overall to where that's what has led Punk to come back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Hunter era. We talk about your ruthless aggressions and your attitudes, but this is after the PG era. This is the Hunter era. Yeah, so this is nice. It's very nice. Jack of all trades. War Games was fun. Woman's one was wild. For the men, the Randy Pop was awesome, and the Punk return legit shock. Also, kind of disappointed with Punk's return promo, but then again, don't really know what I was expecting. We'll talk about that once we get there. Dan, heard the news about Sunny. What a fall from grace to go from being the most searched up person on the internet to spending what could be the rest of her life in prison is wild. Yeah, we talked about that. All right, let me go over to the Instagram DMs because you know who hit us up. In bright as day, X.
Mr. X.
Yep. Let's see. All right. Well, the day we never thought would happen has happened. The prodigal Punk has returned to WWE. That being said, how will this run back in the Federation be different than his roller coaster time in AEW? I think we have all the time to talk about that. Which return promo was better? His return promo to wrestling when he came to AEW, or his return promo on Raw this past Monday? Well, they were different. They were both different. They're both very different.
They were definitely very different. I actually did go back and watch the
AEW one,
because for whatever reason I just had it saved to my DVR forever and I just never watched. And I was like, you know what? I think this is the perfect time to watch it and then finally delete it. So I did go back and watch it, and I would say the AEW one was better just because of like the emotion and everything of him being gone for almost 10 years. So I would say like the AEW return and the promo itself was better, but there was also some issues with it, I thought, as well, of him just being like, oh golly gee, I don't know if I still got it, guys, but at least we'll get to it, with the Raw recap. But I think in the WWE one, he kind of felt more secure about himself, and he kind of felt more like he is a wrestler in the current era and he is ready to take over.
Yes, I mean, he came back. The bar has been set too high. Speaking of AEW, how much does Punk going back hurt them? And is AEW in somewhat of a rebuilding mode now? And who can they properly lean on as the face of the company now that someone with the star power of Punk is gone? Well, I mean, it does hurt because I mean, like they literally collision for CM Punk, so he didn't have to be around the Bucks or Kenny or whatever. That's the rumor. We don't know if that's true or not.
And we're seeing even more splintering with QT Marshall given his resignation. He'll be gone at the end of the year.
Yeah, QT's leaving.
Reports that Punk did not like QTV and it was mismanaging, the push of Will Hobbs. And like, I completely agree with Punk. And like, I really did think when Punk was on Collision was a great show. Punk was doing good stuff. And it seems as though like my ideology of wrestling and his are very similar because I hated QTV. Now, Will Hobbs, might not be as high on him as CM Punk was, but I agree. Like that QTV
the front of the show,
stuff,
you're not
that cute.
Wow.
I mean, I'm high on him. I don't know how high CM Punk is. I think he's a good talent. QTV was hot garbage. I think we can all agree on that. And QT Marshall throwing a little temper tantrum. I think QT might think of himself a little bit better than what he actually is.
Well, you can go see QT Marshall at Big Time Wrestling next week, Friday, December 8th.
Tell him I sent you.
Oh no, you have to go. You have to go represent the show. I told them you'll be there.
All right,
anyway,
I'm gonna go meet and greet him, and then you'll give me the Cody Rhodes treatment. Say I hate him.
Yeah. Sure. When Impact goes back to their TNA moniker early next year, is a sign for them to do bigger and better things? Yes. I mean, they have a solid roster. Just keep what you got, man. I mean, maybe bring in one or two more talents, but just keep what you got going. I mean, they're selling out the buildings that they run. They're not overzealous and trying to sell out 10,000, 50,000 seat arenas. They know where their bread is buttered in there, and they're making Texas toast. It's fantastic.
I'm not as sold on the TNA name change, changing everything for Impact. I mean, I follow WrestleTix on Twitter, and they're doing the TNA Hard to Kill pay-per-view, and that's in January. And last time I checked, they've only sold like maybe 500 tickets in like a 1,500,000 seat venue. So that's not great. And I just think it is kind of more of a PR stunt of like, look, guys, you guys remember TNA from back in the day? That was cool, right? So we're going to be TNA now. But they've been doing like decent stuff on Impact, and yet that still doesn't generate a buzz. I just don't think changing a name is going to make all that much of a difference. And as I said when it first happened, I think the name is worse just because it has the kids cover your ears, tits and ass, name
Brandon,
associated with it.
hate to burst your bubble, but this isn't 1998 anymore, bro. Nobody's just gonna automatically think about that.
I'm pretty sure if you say a random person on the street, what does TNA mean? They're not going to say a wrestling company.
I'm gonna stop a random person on the street. We're gonna find out. We're
Okay,
gonna
I will bet you $1,000 that they do not know what TNA wrestling is. They would say it means tits and ass.
really a thousand
Yes,
dollars.
but you got to pay me $1,000.
So I'm gonna get $1,000 for Brandon, guys. Speaking of TNA, Dixon Carter was backstage at Monday Night Raw. Tony Khan in a couple years, huh?
Well, maybe. I don't. I mean, it was kind of wild that just Dixie Carter just showed up out of nowhere.
Were they in Nashville?
They were in Nashville at the
Okay,
Bridgestone Arena,
yeah.
but I was just trying to think like why, because like Jeff Jarrett wasn't there. Like obviously Jeff Jarrett's with AEW now, so like why? I mean, maybe she probably has some friends in the wrestling business still. So
Yeah, she has some friends. Also, which company's outlook is brighter as of right now, TNA or AEW? And could you see any of them rivaling WWE in terms of popularity, or does WWE have too much money in advertising and just power in general to ever be stopped? WWE is always going to be the number one. We know this. Don't try to rival them. Be your own thing. We saw what happened when TNA tried to rival them. Astronomically bad. It was very bad. Just be your own thing. Exist in your own bubble.
exactly.
Just do you, boo.
I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. WWE is almost too big to fail at this point. They're going to be the number one, always. I still would say AEW is has a better future just because of kind of the floor they have set for themselves. But this has been a terrible year for AEW in 2023. And I think the reason it's been so bad is because they've tried to be so much like WWE. They don't have that same kind of rebel alternative, identity that they had in 2019 to 2021. And I don't know how they get back. I mean, I know how they could get back to that. I don't know if they're gonna try to get back to that.
I mean, look, man. I'll say it, man. Once Cody left, we saw a downfall, man. We really did, really did. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into it all over here. So the Raw recap: CM Punk, he was at the end of the show. Comes out there, cuts his promo, says that he's home, said that he's missed us. Hell's frozen over because he's in a WWE ring with a live mic. Thanks to fans for chanting his name all those years. Even makes references, to the pipe bomb promo. Best in the ring on the mic, even at commentary. Thanks a wise man for telling him that he needed to leave to find what he needed. Talks about an American dream. So got references to Dusty and Paul Heyman, all that. What did you think of the content of the promo?
I thought the promo was very interesting just because of how uninteresting the promo was. I thought it was very boring. It was bland. He didn't really do anything. He kind of talked in circles a little bit. I mean, as much as I would have loved for him to, say F the Young Bucks, F AEW and all that stuff, he's not going to say that. Legally, there's still stuff going on, but just, I don't know. I just kind of expected a little bit more, but maybe they're not going to, blow their load on the first promo. Maybe they will go down the more shooty style promos with Seth Rollins, which I think that's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And he was, he was PG Punk, nice guy Punk. Now, people who are like CM Punk guys who just, don't watch wrestling outside of the CM Punk stuff, they might not like that. Now, he kind of just not completely derailed it, but he was nice guy Punk during the promo, and then off mic, fade to black, he says the line, "I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money," which kind of like completely, went in the opposite direction of what he was saying in the promo, saying like, people are here to, almost everyone is here, likes me, and I'm here, to prove that I'm the best in the world or something. He didn't say in that AEW promo, as I alluded to earlier. He is here to be the top wrestler in WWE.
Well,
so
he wasn't going to do what he did in AEW. He wasn't just going to bash the other company that he just worked for. He wasn't going to do that. He already did that. Why would he just do that again? That doesn't make sense. And then it was a wink to the kind of okay, that's the Punk that we know. That's what that was, that little comment at the end. And I'm sure we're gonna get to the CM Punk Rollins rivalry. We have to. I mean, Rollins said, "Don't chant that hypocrite's name at me," and I'm sure we're gonna get references. And I want to see CM Punk and the Grayson Waller effect. I think that would be something interesting because apparently CM Punk is a free agent. He can go between both shows.
I don't need the Grayson. I need him on the Kevin Owens show.
No, I need the Grayson Waller effect. So Grayson Waller can be like, "Well, this young buck isn't afraid of you," or something like that. Just get a little cheap I need something like that.
I assume CM Punk was never on the Kevin Steen show because Steen was a little bit later in ROH. That'd just be a hell of a time.
No, he was in WWE when that was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just felt as though, we kind of know who CM Punk is, and the AEW promo felt much more real than the WWE one. But, the extenuating circumstances around it, I think he kind of has to placate and, say certain things like the whole "I'm home" line. We kind of know how he feels about WWE, and not like that was super eye rolling for me personally, but I could see those CM Punk casuals look and just be like, he's kind of being a sellout right now. He's not the pipe bomb anti-authority guy, but he's in his mid 40s. He's back in WWE. That's just not. I just hope people don't expect that to be the kind of CM Punk we're gonna get, because he's a different person, different environment, different era. So, as I said, it was interesting because I think they can go in a bunch of different directions,
And
but they didn't. But they didn't show their hand here in this promo.
No, it's too early. It's way too early. Well, we gotta let it play out. We gotta let it play out, man. Gotta let it play out. All right. Rhea Ripley and Randy Orton have a promo. Randy lets Rhea know Daddy's back, and then it leads to a match with Dirty Dom, and Dom eats an RKO.
Yeah. Randy and CM Punk both coming back same night. I almost wish CM Punk felt the same way that Randy Orton does coming back, because you can just tell how happy Randy is to be back. Being gone for almost 2 years, probably retirement was very much on the table, and he's probably very grateful for him to be back. So
Randy, at the end of when he's walking back from Survivor Series, you see the fan footage. He throws up 10. He's like 10 more years. So we'll see.
we will see. And this is a different Randy Orton. He's very much fun loving. I mean, he was kind of fun loving with Matt Riddle, but it's even more so here. Now, is that kind of playing a face, or, as soon as someone ticks him off, he's going to flip a switch? But it's kind of fun to see like Randy Orton just so happy, and almost kind of like what we see like on like social media, like with his wife and stuff. And now we're seeing that on WWE television.
Oh, yeah, Randy Orton also said he has a receipt for every member of the bloodline. Jey Uso went to him and said, like, "Look, Uso, man, like I'm not with that no more. I'm not a part of that." But hey, I think Jey Uso has an RKO waiting for him.
Maybe, but I also thought that was a really good segment, just because it's something we don't see too much in wrestling. Just like Randy admitted he's watched the product, and it was like, yeah, you've done some bad things in the past, but I kind of, as long as you don't cross me again, we're good. And it's almost like it was a real human interaction, which is something we don't see in WWE off too often. I thought that was very good, and also like it flies in the face of what Drew is doing. So it kind of makes Randy an even better person, because Drew is doing the complete opposite of what he's doing.
Yeah, and what happened to Randy is actually worse. Put him on the shelf for almost 2 years and almost cost him his career. Yeah. Speaking of Drew, Drew and Rollins have a segment. Seth says, "Drew, I think you deserve another shot," but Rollins says he's defending his title next week. Drew asks who it is, and it's Jey Uso. So Drew headbutts Rollins and busts himself open because he actually headbutted the championship. Beats up beats up Seth, loses his kilt. Jay comes out there, super kicks, and saves the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I thought it was a good segment. We had some CM Punk chants, and Seth, responded to them, but I think they might have been fishing for a little bit more, and they just didn't get the kind of same CM Punk chants that maybe they thought they were going to get, which I don't know what that says about people's feelings towards CM Punk, just WWE cards in general or whatever. but I think they were trying to fish for that CM Punk reaction a little bit more that they didn't get. But the segment with Drew and Seth itself, I thought was really good. They, told a decent story. Seth or Drew kind of snapping at the first word of Jey Uso, someone who he beat last week clean in the middle of the ring last week, and yet the person who lost is getting the championship match, which
Drew technically didn't lose. He wasn't pinned.
Well, I'm saying the singles match, like the advantage match, Drew won. And so he technically is better than Jey, so he should get the title shot. But I'm really much enjoying the Drew McIntyre character, and then going backstage with Sammy trying to talk him out of it, and Drew's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm gonna ask Adam Pearce for a match against you. And it was just like, all right, this dude means business, and he's gonna kill Sami Zayn next week.
He is gonna kill Sami Zayn next week. It's unfortunate, it really is. Cody Rhodes has a promo, talks about the return of Randy Orton, talks about the return of CM Punk's. Shinsuke Nakamura pops up on the screen speaking in Japanese. Cody turns around. Shinsuke appears in the ring, missed to the face. So this is the closest we're going to see to Cody having blood on his face in WWE.
You never know. Maybe he might pull a Bret Hart and slide a blade in during a WrestleMania 40, but
go hard way.
Accidentally on purpose. But yeah, the Cody promo's fine. I like the idea of Nakamura and Cody. It's like a little filler feud. Cody announced he's going to be at the Royal Rumble, which is maybe the earliest we've ever seen someone declare for the Royal Rumble in late November. But, it's a good filler feud for the next month and a half leading into the Royal Rumble. I think people might have gotten a little bit over their skis thinking Nakamura was talking about CM Punk and they were going to have a match at Survivor Series or something. But, I mean, it's kind of weird that Nakamura was talking in riddles for all this time. And yet it was just about someone who was on Raw every single week.
He was biding his time. That's all it was.
On Nakamura time.
Yes, the Creed brothers win tag team turmoil. They have an opportunity at the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Run the gauntlet. They ran it.
With Raw being commercial free the first hour, they always love to put on these types of matches, and it filled a lot of time. The Creeds, wrestled their asses off, and it was, a good, obviously a really good showcase for them. And I think they're really talented, and I don't know, maybe they beat the Judgment Day, kind of cement them as an actual tag team, while the Judgment Day might be going through some rocky times at the moment. So, good idea, I guess. We'll wait and see.
We shall wait and see, yes. Before we get to AW Dynamite, I forgot to mention, I saw an advanced screening of the Iron Claw movie.
Must be nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go?
That's fine. It's fine. I'm out here killing moles in my front yard. I mean, it's Steve Austin versus the Fly, me versus the mole.
When you're supposed to be recording matches, you're killing moles. I do know of another screening possibly next week if you want to go.
My people will talk to your people.
Yes. I'm not going to spoil it, but wow, just wow, what a it was a great movie. It's a very sad movie. We obviously we learned about the Von Erich tragedy and all the brothers that are no longer with Kevin and all that other stuff. And there are some nitpicky things. As a wrestling fan, you can nitpick, but overall, very good movie. And just a very, very sad story. Yes. Can't wait for you guys to see this. Can't wait for you to see it.
One of these days we'll have maybe a little, what do you want to talk about? And we do a little movie review, something we've never done before on this show.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have to wait to release it till, the movie's out. Yeah. AEW, John Moxley defeats Jay Lethal in the Continental Classic tournament, advancing.
Well, it's a round robin tournament, so you don't really advance.
Yes, I forgot.
These American fans don't know how a round robin tournament works, apparently. But
I forgot it was a round robin. I really don't be.
Yeah, I mean, Moxley versus Lethal. Everyone kind of knew this was going to happen. Moxley out in front with 6 points. Lethal down with 0. I would not be shocked if Lethal doesn't have a point for the entirety of the tournament because he's just kind of the guy to job to everybody. Fine match.
You get for a win?
You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Come on, Katie painstakingly read through the entire rules and you didn't pay attention to her?
No,
Wow.
I was.
If she listened to this podcast, she'd be very offended.
She she probably will be. I'm sorry. I wear a lot of hats, guys. I do a lot of things. Yeah. AEW Revolution will be in Greensboro. Be at the Greensboro Coliseum, where Sting and Flair, had battles and battled everybody else. Yeah.
Greensboro Coliseum, legendary NWA WCW venue. I mean, before they even announced it, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to go to the Greensboro Coliseum. That's exactly where they went. Promo from Sting and Ric Flair. Apparently, there's another promo on Rampage that gets Ric Flair in some hot water, apparently. So stay tuned to see if they cut that. Well, they're not going to cut it because it was like a 15-minute segment, but Flair apparently said like the whole, girlfriend, single girls from 18 to 28 come to the Marriott or whatever and leave your boyfriends at home. People on the internet did not like that. So we'll see if they cut that at on the final cut. But yeah, Greensboro being the site of Revolution.
In the 28.
Should be fun. Should be a good time. Hopefully it's a raucous crowd. They used to be raucous back in the day. Let's see how they look like in 2024.
Yeah. Roosh defeats Mark Briscoe, so Mark Briscoe's just there to lose. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of like a step above Jay Lethal. I would assume Jay and Briscoe have to wrestle, so I would assume Briscoe's going to beat Jay. So, I mean, there was 3 matches on the show, and all of them kind of were sectioned off, and you kind of knew who was going to win. Honestly, like I think there was a little bit of question in this one with Roosh and Briscoe, but Roosh, doesn't want to do jobs to everybody, so maybe you got to placate him and get him a win. So it was, fine match, but I think these are 2 guys you don't really expect to win the tournament. So it's like, okay, it was an okay filler type of match, but nothing too consequential. But we did get some consequential stuff with an MJF promo. He comes out, he alludes to his numerous injuries, the kayfabe one with his hip and his knee. And then he tweeted out during the week that he has a partially torn labrum and he's going to wrestle through it. So we have to wait and see how severe or how long he'll be out, if he's going to be out. But he cuts a promo on Samoa Joe, putting him over back in TNA. He even says the forbidden letters of WWE. And he also dropped CM Punk's name on there, just kind of running through a list of names he's beaten over the years, and just puts over Samoa Joe. And then the masked men appear, and Samoa Joe makes the save. Then we get some technical issues, and we will be getting Samoa Joe and MJF in a tag team match against 2 masked men. I don't think we're going to get the devil, but I guess we're getting 2 devil minions.
When's their match for the title?
That would be a month, I think, exactly from today, December 30th.
The devil needs to show up at that thing and cost MJF the title.
With MJF being hurt, I'm not opposed to it, but I just don't know if Samoa Joe is the guy you want to, defeat MJF in this long title reign.
Can't lose again. Like, we can't do that again.
I mean, I'm looking at Swerve, and I feel like Swerve is the guy to beat him for it. I mean, even like Takeshita, if Takeshita would be on television at all, I think he's a good guy to kind of take it from MJF and can get, onto the next level. Or even Adam Cole. Like if Adam Cole is the devil or Britt Baker's the devil and Adam Cole is going to be associated and turn heel. Samoa Joe's so talented. If this was like 10 years ago, I would be all for it. But I just don't think right now in Samoa Joe's current iteration, he's the guy that should be taking the title off MJF, a year plus reign.
I mean, people
because it's like it's like we talk about with Gunther and Roman Reigns. The person you want to beat, to beat them for it is going to get something.
Look, man,
you want them to get elevated from it.
People were advocating for Joe to beat Punk for the real world title, or that stuff, that thing, and I could have saw it, but look, man, like just do it, do it. Why not do it? Have Joe hold it for a little bit, and build up Swerve, and have somebody else, in between. It's okay to have there aren't really transitional champions anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Joe has to be a transitional champion, but I'm saying There aren't really any of those anymore. Those are okay to have every once in a while. AEW doesn't do that. Everybody has to hold the title for a year. Like, do something different.
Well, the international title's been bounced around, but that doesn't, and the women's title's been bounced around.
How many international champions have there been?
Let's see. It went to Pac, then it went to,
I forgot he was even the champion.
He was the first one.
Like that said, that I'm talking about like the heavyweight championship. The heavyweight championship. That's fine. It's okay to do it. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes.
That this is the longest reigning AEW champion ever.
Okay.
I know they've only been around for 4 years, but
okay. I don't know what you. I mean, bro, it's okay.
I'm just saying. Are we advocating for, LA Knight to beat Roman Reigns, and then 2 months later Cody finishes the story and beats beats LA Knight for it?
Okay, or do we have Sami Zayn finally win the world title, win for Damian Priest to cash in on him the next day? Why not? Why not? It's okay. It's fine.
Well, I would argue that the world title changing hands hot-shottingly would be more akin to the AEW international title or the TNT championship, where it's like, okay, there might be like a longer title reign, but
literally,
not going to mean as much.
All 3 members of the Shield were WWE champion in the same night within the span of 5 minutes. It's okay. It's okay.
But the first champion wasn't champion for well over a year.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. The point is
completely different circumstance.
The point, look, I mean, who was it? After one of these long, like multi-year title runs of the WWF, Stan Stasiak held the title for 7 days and then lost it. It's okay. It's fine.
Different time.
My guy. The point is, it is okay to do it. It is fine to do it.
So Phillip is advocating for someone to beat Roman Reigns before Cody does a WrestleMania.
Nobody's beating Roman. We're not talking about Roman. We're talking about the AEW World Championship. This is what we're talking about here. It's fine. Joe beats him December 30th, holds it until Revolution, have another babyface, or have him just get it back, whatever, and then put it on Swerve at Double or Nothing and call it a day.
One of us is the Bullet Cast prediction champion and the other one isn't. So we'll see who's right at the end of the day.
I'm always right. I can just strip your love and put it on myself. I can do it anytime I want. Don't. All
right, Vince Russo.
Don't just think you're invincible. Don't do that here.
I'm inevitable. Call me Thanos.
You're not inevitable to nothing.
You're right.
You think you're undesirable? Or undeniable? Is that what you think? You think you're undeniable?
Definitely undesirable.
We
don't talk about that right now.
Christian, Adam Copeland have a promo.
A promo. Because my microphone accidentally unplugs, but it was mainly Christian having a promo, and he just tries to weasel his way out of the title match next week in Montreal for the TNT title. Copeland was having none of it, and Christian goes to whack him, and Edge takes him to Dick Kick City, and he was like, yeah, and then he says, go F yourself, and whoever was on the mute button completely fell asleep and did not mute it, and we heard the full F-bomb, and it was hilarious.
That wouldn't happen in WWE.
There's a lot of things that wouldn't happen in WWE and AEW.
Yeah. Like $1 billion business wouldn't happen. wouldn't happen in AEW.
Sellout venues.
Not happening in AEW.
Secrets that no one knew about.
That, you see? Exactly. We're not talking to the sheets over here in Stanford, man. We're not doing that. Swerve defeats Jay White, advancing. Congratulations. Swerve, we're not right. We're not right. Swerve was on Chris Van Vliet. I've heard good things. I'm going to have to watch it.
Really good match. And this one was very much in question. And I thought this was maybe one of the biggest matches of Swerve's career, not in terms of pedigree by any means, but just kind of seeing where he stood in AEW.
Pedigree?
And with Jay White coming off the world title loss, maybe would think he's going to win. They teased the draw with 5 minutes remaining, but then they went right to the finish after that. And so with Swerve beating Jay White, I think it kind of cements himself as a favorite to win the tournament. And I'm very excited for that. So nice to see Swerve moving his way up.
You swerve when you drive?
Well, I'm normally a very safe driver, as you know, Philip, but occasionally.
I don't know, man. You had me riding in a Jeep in like December with the top off. I felt very unsafe.
Well, I'm pretty sure that didn't
In
happen.
Pacifica of all places.
I'm pretty sure that did not happen because I never have the top off in the Jeep in December.
It was man. We went to one of those. We went to an APW. It was like November, December, something like that.
It always comes on.
Nah.
Once summer's over, it usually gets put on. So it never gets. It might get into September. I will admit, but it's September at the absolute latest. It ain't getting into November. Once that first heavy rain drops, the tarp is on.
I remember one. It was very cold when the top was off. I remember.
Well, that's because we were driving in the middle of the night across the San Mateo Bridge. It's gonna be cold.
I felt unsafe,
and we're driving like 70 miles an hour. So there's wind and there's cold. And there's
felt
a breeze.
I almost lost my voice, and this is what I used to do this. You tried to take me away from the people.
I'm sorry, people, but we're here. 356 episodes later, we're here.
Yes. That's going to do it for us. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Brandon, he doesn't know what it means about transitional champions being okay, but I do. I understand. So yeah.
Transitional champions are okay, but I think you just have to pick your spots.
I mean, you're a transitional champion, so you know.
Tell me about it. 19 times, baby.
Yeah, man, you know. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes.
Moving on everything that's pronouncing everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage, and everything we do turning the page. Nobody doesn't like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting. I know you like it. Yeah, the bullet cast, fearless. The bullet cast, fearless. The bullet cast, fearless. Elite podcasting. We are the bullet cast now, fearless. The bullet cast now, fearless. Elite podcasting. No, we on. Elite podcasting. No, we on.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.